very quick, dun 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 dun, and gone. Also, though, I remember when I got here, in England you're taught from a very young age, if someone's coming down the corridor, especially if a lady's coming down the corridor, you must hold the door open. Now, I don't know whether this is in Russian etiquette or not, but from what I saw, it's not really something that's done here. It's just a difference. It's not right or wrong, it's just a difference. So when I got here, I held the door open, and people just went, what are you doing? Why are you holding the door open? And I thought, it's very odd. It doesn't seem to be working. I'm not getting, they're not saying thank you or anything. But then I realised, oh, it's just a cultural difference, which is very interesting to see how some things are important in some cultures and some things are not. And then I'll just finish this bit with a joke a Russian joke about England, which is, apologies if you've heard it, but I found it very funny. And it was actually a joke that I could understand, a Russian joke about English. Not in Russian, sorry. My Russian's not good enough. But so it's about the English obviously are known to be very, very straight, and etiquette is very important, and they're very formal, which is true for a lot of English people. So there's a lord in his big mansion house in London, and the butler runs in, bam, opens the door and says, Sir, the Thames is flooding, the Thames is flooding. We've got to get out now. And the lord says, stop right there. Don't come running in here, knock on the door and say, excuse me, sir, I have something to tell you. Then tell me what you're going to say. Now get out and do it again properly. So, the butler leaves, sorry, goes, come in. Butler comes in and says, Sir, the Thames. But it was too late. So yeah, I found that quite funny. I think that's something that's actually quite close to the real stereotype of English people, and I found that very amusing. So just to finish off now, for what it's worth, I'm no sociologist, but I am a journalist and living in Russia, seen various things. So for what it's worth, this is sort of maybe how I would sum up Russia from what I see it from being here. I would say that you're all immensely lucky to live in Russia now. I feel immensely privileged to be able to live in Russia now, because I would say there have been more turbulent moments in Russia's history, but now, especially given the last 20 years, I always say to Russians, from what I can see, Russia is living in history now. Now, in Britain now, a lot of the major things in our past have happened round and round, much is the same old arguments. 10 years, the political parties change, and then change again. The media tries to make it exciting, but generally, things are pretty boring in England. But in Russia, you're living in history. And what's changing now? The next few decades, I think, are going to be so interesting in Russia. Things are going to change. Democracy is young here, and it's had some problems with economics in 1998. I mean, I wasn't here in 1998, but I always ask Russians about 1998 because it was a horrible time. It was difficult for many people, and I think it's important to know that no, the West can say, America and Britain can say, this is democracy, this is how it works. You either can do it or you can't do it. Well, that's wrong. It's not as simple as that. Look around the world. Britain's not always been a perfect democracy. We've had great difficulties in our past. But what is happening now in Russia is unique, because Russia is in a position that no other country's been in. It has unique geography, unique people, unique history. So it makes a situation that's nowhere else in the world. And so I would say that there is great change and there's great difficulty. There's things like the hydroelectric dam that burst a few months ago. This is difficult, and this is a part of the history of Russia, is that it was built a long time ago. It's getting old. There's not a lot of money to repair these things. And I would say, as a journalist, that's, unfortunately, the risk is there's going to be more things like that happening. That's on the negative side. On the positive side, Russia is discovering that it doesn't just have mineral resources. It's it's discovering that it has a huge resource in its people, and as it diversifies its economy, as Russians start to become good at business and build businesses that can reach across the world, I would say Russia is going to be able to have opportunities that the West, people in Europe and Britain can't have, that they're not going to be able to get. So I would say that now living at the moment in Russia is fascinating. I think we're all very lucky to be able to live here now. Thank you.